If you're in wholesale real estate, you already know the money isn't just in finding the deals. It's how you handle the objections. I've closed dozens of deals that I was so close to losing, and I saved it not by giving them more money or adjusting my price, but it's because I knew exactly what to say when sellers pushed back. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 6 most common objections you'll hear from sellers when wholesaling real estate. And I'll show you exactly how to handle them like a pro. By the way, if you want to learn how to master conversations like this and start closing consistent deals every single month, make sure to click the link below, book a free strategy call with me, and let's see how I can help you start building real momentum in your wholesale business. Here's objection number 1. Are you a wholesaler? When most new wholesalers hear this, they freeze because they don't know what to do. They feel like the jig is up, right? A seller asks you, are you a wholesaler? What are you gonna do? Here's how you handle that confidently. You say word for word, no. Me and my partners buy properties either to fix and flip or to keep them as a rental, and we're looking to add a few more to our portfolio right now. That is what you say every single time. Don't hesitate, don't stutter, don't second guess. You say it, you are the buyer. And here's what I mean by that. You and the buyer are partners. You guys are buying it together. When you sign that contract, whose name is on the buyer side? Your name, right? Just because you have a partner doesn't mean that you're not the buyer. So whenever they say, are you a wholesaler? Are you just gonna lock my property up and waste my time for 30 days? Look, we're not here to waste anybody's time or lock anybody up with the intentions of not knowing if we're gonna have a buyer. But if you have a deal and you know it's a deal and you know you have buyers, or you at least know how to find buyers, no, we're not wholesalers. We're buyers, and we're looking to add a few more to our portfolio right now, either a rental or a flip, but boom, that's how you handle that number 1 objection. Objection number 2, and this is big, what's your offer? A lot of the times when you're on the phone with the seller, you're going through the pitch, or maybe you're just going through the intro. You've only been on the phone with them for about 20 to 30 seconds, and they're saying, yeah, what's your offer? Yeah, hurry up, what's your offer? It's basically like if you were to go to a doctor and you were in the patient room for the first 2 minutes and you said, doc, what's wrong with me? Yeah, hurry up, what's wrong with me? He hasn't even taken your heartbeat yet. He hasn't even drawn any blood. He hasn't run any tests yet. So how can he possibly know what's wrong with you? So you have to imagine yourself as that. When they say, what's your offer? Never blurt out some random number just so you can sound serious. Say this instead. That's a great question. I actually don't come up with the offer. It's my underwriters in the back who come up with all the numbers. And if this house seems like something my partners are interested in, then by the end of this call, they'll have me give you an offer. But if not, I'll have a reason why. Is that fair? That response does 2 things. It sets expectations and it keeps you in control. When you go to the doctor's office and you're telling them to hurry up, tell me what's wrong with me, the doctor hasn't done any tests, so there's no way for him to tell you what's wrong with you. Same thing with the seller. They're like, what's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? Hey, totally get you want to know what the offer is, and that's the point of this phone call. Right? After I ask you a few basic questions about the general condition of the house and the situation, I'm gonna run that information back to my underwriters, and at the end of the call, they're gonna give me an offer if it gets qualified. Does that make sense? And then you keep moving forward with the script. That's how you handle that every single time. It's just looping it back into the script and reminding them, hey, I can't give you an offer right now if you don't give me the information. And the people who don't want to give you the information, you have to really sit and think, do they even want to sell their house? Sometimes you have to ask them that flat out. Do you actually want to sell your house, or are you just on the phone with me because I said I would give you an offer? If they say that they're on the phone with you just because you said that you would give them an offer, it's probably not a lead, and you're probably wasting your time. Now, I do believe that it is an opportunity for you to get better and learn how to work with difficult sellers. But at the same time, just know when they say what's your offer and they're trying to rush you and push you down the script and skip your whole process, you remind them, hey, that's not how this works. I have to ask a few more questions, then I can give you your offer. And it's not even me giving you the offer, it's the underwriters in the back. Does that make sense? And you just move forward. If this is clicking with you so far, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more wholesalers who need to hear this. And also share this video with anybody who you think will get some value from it. All right, objection number 3. If you're not giving me my asking price, you're wasting my time. This one's all about emotion and control. Don't argue with them, just redirect. This is how you handle it. I totally understand. Ultimately, it's gonna be my underwriters who make the decision of whether or not they're gonna approve this property. By the end of this phone call, Mr. Seller, if it seems like something that they're interested in purchasing, then they'll have me give you an offer. But if not, I'll at least have a reason why. Is that fair? You're not debating, you're diffusing. This is very big, and it sounds pretty similar to the last objection handler. And as you'll see, a pattern throughout these is that I'm always redirecting the seller back to the script. back to the process. They try to bring me off, I acknowledge what they say, I associate it with maybe something else, and then I ask a question that leads them back into the script. That's called the AAA method. That's by Alex Ramosi on some other video. I'll probably leave a link to it somewhere. But every single time, that's how these objection handlers are built. They're built for you to acknowledge what they're saying and then ask a question that brings it back into the script. Or acknowledge what they're saying and just bring it back to the script. Either way, you're overcoming the objection. Objection number 4. What's the name of your company? Don't get tripped up here, right? You're not Zillow, you're not Open Door, you're an independent investor. This is how you handle it. That's a great question. We're actually a group of private investors who all partner together to buy investment properties. We bought 5 properties so far this year and we're looking to add a few more. That is how you handle that with authority. At the end of the day, why are they really asking you that? They're asking you it because they don't trust you. They're asking it because they don't really know you yet. And so it's on you to portray that confidence and hey, we're not just some average Joe Schmo, random company, fly-by-night company. No, we're a group of private investors and we all partner together to buy these properties, right? And that's why you say, we bought 5, 10, depending on what time of the year it is what number I'll say, right? So if it's January or February or March, then I'll say we bought 5 properties so far, we're looking to add a few more. But if it's like September or October, I'm gonna be like, we bought like 23 houses so far, we're looking to add a few more by the end of the year. Right? Just saying something like that and having that structure of what to say, it just gives off confidence. It gives off expert, like you know what you're talking about. So don't get tripped up just because they're trying to question you and question what company you work for. It's all about how you say it. They might even ask you again, so what's the name of your company? All you say is, we don't have a company. We're just a group of private investors and we partner together to buy these houses. We've bought about 10 properties so far this year. We're looking to add a few more. And then you bring it back to the script. Does that make sense? This builds credibility and trust without making you sound like a huge corporate buyer, which you could also leverage to your advantage. Objection number 5, and a lot of people get tripped up on this. Are you gonna come look at the property? And really when they're asking you this, all they're really asking is, are you a real person? Are you actually capable of buying my house? This is how you handle it. That's a great question. We actually make offers sight unseen. After we have an offer approved, we send out one of our financial partners or even one of our contractors just to do a quick walkthrough, just to make sure that everything is the way that we discussed on the phone today. As long as there's no major structural damage that you didn't tell us about, or half the house is missing, then we'll move forward to closing. Handles it completely, it's done, it's squashed. They don't ask that question again. If they do ask it, then you just say the same thing over again. Yes, we're gonna come look at the property, okay? What you're really saying is, we're gonna come look at the property after we decide if we want the property or not, right? We're not gonna see the property, then decide if we want it. We're gonna decide if we want it, then go see the property. It's basically them trying to take you off of your process and put you into their process. Hey, no, this is how I'm selling my house. Everybody's gonna come see the house this day. And instead of combating them on their process, we don't wanna combat them. We don't wanna argue with them. We don't wanna debate. What we simply want to do is acknowledge what they're saying, tell them that you understand, you've been here before, and also let them know that we're going to finish my process first before we go with your process. Does that make sense? We'll do the part of your process that you want to after we finish the part of my process, right? That's basically what you're telling them. You're taking control of the situation. A lot of these objections are either just testing you because they don't trust you or they don't think you're credible, or they're trying to take you off your process and put you into their process. In either scenario, you have to be the one to take control of the phone call immediately. By the way, if you want the full script that I use when talking to sellers, the exact one that helped me go from inconsistent deals to steady $20,000 to $50,000 months, click that link below and I'll walk you through it personally. All right, objection number 6. And I know that this one turns a lot of people off. I don't work with investors. This is where tone matters most, right? You have to stay calm, stay friendly. I totally understand. Ultimately, this would be an investment for us. If we were to get to a number that made sense for both of us, would you be opposed to hearing an offer? It lowers resistance without pressure. This is just another way of the seller trying to get you off of your process and onto their process. They're trying to rule you out and disqualify you before you even know anything about them. So all you gotta say is, hey, I totally understand, and acknowledge what they're saying. At the end of the day, this is gonna be an investment for us, but we don't always buy beat up houses that need work. Sometimes we do buy turnkey properties. It all depends on what the underwriters say and what the underwriters think. Obviously, they had me reach out to you because they thought that we'd be a good fit. So if you're not opposed to at least hearing an offer, I'd like to ask you a few more questions. That way we can see if we can give you a good offer or not. Something like that. But it's just taking the pressure off of the fact that you're an investor, which has a negative connotation around it. Nobody likes investors, but whatever. If you do novations, if you do wholesales, whatever, if you do sub 2 seller finance, Don't let the negative connotation of investor stop you from making an offer and continuing in the sales process. Let them know, hey, yes, it's true. At the end of the day, this would be an investment for me, but that doesn't mean that I can't give you what you want. Now, in order for me to see if I could really get you what you want or that number that you're asking for, I just need to ask you a few more questions, all right? Would you at least be opposed to hearing an offer, right? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say no. What's your offer? Or no, you keep asking me questions and just continue with the process. And then it's on you to decide whether it's a disqualified or a qualified lead and whether or not you could help them. Now you've got the 6 top objection handlers every wholesaler needs to master, but here's the truth. Knowing the words isn't enough, right? You've got to practice these responses until they sound natural and flow in conversation. So if you want help mastering these objection handlers, tightening your sales scripts and closing more deals without getting stuck in endless maybes, click the link below and book a free call with me, and I'll personally walk you through how to build a process that works with your personality and help you close consistent deals month after month. The people who book a call this week are gonna be the same people who close their first $20, $40, or $50,000 deal in 90 days. Stay motivated.